All right, lads. Emergency tea time. We have a trailer. Dave's looking good. The Chad himself. It's a nice little animation, to be fair. Here we are. Looks clean. Blooming in HD. I swear to God, I've got PTSD at this point. I'm sitting there I'm waiting for a Michael Jackson Zamboni to pull up. And you can play it with a friend. Not online, though. There you go. Plants vs. Zombies Replanted, coming October 23rd. Yep, so this trailer dropped. I'm sure you've all heard about it by now. Spread like wildfire after, I think it was revealed in a Nintendo Direct, and then it's just gone from there. Yeah, I've had a little watch of it, and since then, I've been trying to find out some extra information because they've said certain things. I'm going to go to the EA website and we're going to talk a little bit about this. And I'm going to explain to you why I'm not jumping up and down, clapping like a fucking seal like everyone else in the YouTube comments is, because PopCap finally did something. I have my reservations about this. I got to be honest with you. Says, get back to your roots with the classic Plants vs. Zombies returning soon in glorious HD. It'll be bigger, brighter, and crazier than ever, with new secrets and content. So, I mean, that sounds good. There's a little pre-order bonus with a retro pea shooter skin. Okay. It's very clear to see from the screenshots that this is a remaster of the console version of PvZ. This is not... We obviously talked about it in the Wolfy's Workshop video, how there was a rumor there was going to be a PvZ1 remake coming in October. I wouldn't call this a remake. This is much more of a remaster. There is actually a difference between the two, believe it or not. A remaster tends to just be the same game. It even says on the website, fully remastered. Yeah, it's just the same game, but with upscale graphics. Whereas like CTR Nitro Fueled, that's a remake. This is a remaster of the console version of the game, which at face value was a good thing, because when we talked about it in the video, I said there was a very, very integral part of the console version of the game that I kind of had to miss out on, because I only ever played the game on PC. I only ever played the Game of the Year edition, and that was versus mode. And I said in that video, I was like, I would take a PvZ1 remake. That would be really cool, because I was really excited at the prospect of being able to play versus mode for the first time. And, you know, because it's 2025, you'll probably be able to play it online. The reality of the situation is, no. It has local multiplayer, which is basically effectively, you know, playing with your mate around his house, and you can't play it online, which is a bit concerning. Let's talk about like what's the rest of this first of all. Like the graphics, the upscale graphics look really nice. Like they've done a really good job upscaling that. It's going to be widescreen, which I think I definitely prefer. I don't fuck with the 4:3 personally. Man, I actually had to make a border and put it in the flipping videos, which is just far more effort than I want to put into, my literal job. It looks good, and, you know, it is PvZ1, which is a very, very solid game. You know, it's pretty much the flagship game of the franchise. It's the biggest success that they've had. What I'm concerned about is that I kind of looked at this, and I've seen everyone in the comments popping off about it, talking about, like, yeah, this is a new era of PvZ. We're so back. We're not back. Because at the moment, this is just... I'm looking at this and I'm just thinking, like... That's bait. This is kind of... comes across to me like cheap nostalgia bait that's going to be dead in a week. And that would be such a waste. Like, people want to talk about a new era of PvZ. Like, this really could be a new era of PvZ. And, like, it's no secret, PvZ as a franchise has been in the mud for a little while. It's been a hot minute since we actually had a good game from PopCap. Luckily, we have an amazing community here, and because of said community, we have had plenty of things to get excited about. Things like Altverse, things like Reflourished, things like Beautiful Town, things like Fusion. There have been plenty of things to get excited about in PvZ. Just none of them have come from PopCap. And, you know, when they had the whole Sweet 16 thing going on, and they were like dropping little hints and teasers and like, oh, we got something big and, you know, something big's in the works here. Something big's coming. It's just PvZ 1 for the 17th time, but not really bringing anything new to the table. That's the thing. I have no problem with them doing PvZ 1 again, but you gotta bring something new to the table that's actually going to make it worthwhile. And I feel like a permadeath mode and this cloudy day thing that they're talking about, which is just going to be like the normal game, but with limited sun production. Yeah, no, that's lacking a little bit. I got to be honest. It says the adventure's going to have bonus levels and new content as well. I would have to actually see that before I can get excited about it. Like, you know, that might be really good. They're sort of hinting at there's going to be plant skins and stuff like that, which again makes me raise an eyebrow because you know who licenses this game. So, yeah. You know where I'm going with this. I just feel like after all this time and after the rut that this franchise has been in, if this is what they're going to do, then they've got to bring something worthwhile to the table. And I think the one thing that I said I wanted, which would have been like the easiest thing to do, it would have been it can't have been that hard to do this, and would have like upped the hype for this game tenfold. Online PvP. Like, bring back versus mode and let people play against each other online. Because then, like, hear me out, you do that then also opens up the door for future content. You can add new plants, you can add new zombies, you can add flipping seasons, lawns, a battle pass if you want, with emotes. There's hella money to be made if you're willing to invest in giving the game some staying power, some longevity. But as it is, I feel like this is just nostalgia bait that's going to die in a week. If you're someone who just grew up with the original PvZ and you're just excited about playing the game in, you know, remastered graphics, then, you know, cool, good for you. You know, you can be excited about the game for whatever reason you like. For me personally, this franchise is on its arse. And contrary to popular belief, I'm actually not happy about that. And I don't want to see it continue to go that way. I would absolutely love for this to be the start of a new era of PvZ. I mean, one thing you have to consider is it could all just be a big shit test. It could all just be an experiment by EA to just throw up a game like this and just kind of see if people are still interested in buying it, to basically decide if the franchise is worth investing in the future. I just feel like it needs to have online support, otherwise it's just not going to last. And I want to see it last. I'm saying these things because I want this to succeed. Just like back in the day, people thought I was shitting on BFN for the sake of it, just because I could. Believe it or not, this is going to rock your world. I actually wasn't. I was shitting on BFN because I wanted it to get better. I wanted it to be a good game. And generally, if you want something to get better, if you want something to improve, you first have to be willing to acknowledge what is wrong with it. I desperately want this game to fucking kickstart the franchise again. I actually want Plants vs. Zombies to come back because it's such a cool franchise and there's so many cool things that can still be done with it. But I feel like this, as it is right now, this ain't it. This ain't it. I mean, listen, the thing is, we have very limited information at the moment, which is why I'm being sort of like, I'm not being completely pessimistic about it, but I'm also not being optimistic. I'm like I'm hovering sort of a little bit in the middle. We do only have quite limited information for right now, but at the moment there's nothing here that's kind of getting me invested in this. The only thing I will say, because I'm not just here to you know, to shatter your dreams. I come with solutions. You add online support for versus mode. And hell, even do it for co-op. And I promise you this game will do 10 times better. If you want games to be successful long term, you've got to give people a reason to keep coming back to them. The problem with this is people are going to get a hold of it. They're going to play through the adventure again, you know, just for old time's sake. They'll play a couple mini games. They'll have a go at Cloudy Day or Permadeath. And then they'll never touch the game again. And that, to me, just seems like a waste. When you could fix something quite simple and actually give this game some serious staying power, and then also open up avenues to add new content in the future, which would just like be, you know, it's just a bonus. Not only will the game sell like fucking hotcakes, but you will have people invested in it long term as well, myself included. Oh, I just whacked money on the desk. That is solid metal. Jesus. Right on the kneecap. I'm telling you, mate, you add online support for PvP, and listen, you can keep it simple. There doesn't have to be no ranked or anything like that. Just allow people to actually play it online. I will buy every single bit of content you can come up with, and I promise you I will not be the only one. There's no reason not to, because you won't be taking anything away from the game. Like, the original experience is always going to be there. If people just want to get on the game and get their nostalgia trip and play through the adventure, you can do that. That's, you know, you're not taking that option away from people. For a game that came out in 2009, you want to re-release it again 16 years later, you gotta bring something new to the table that isn't just, like, fucking permadeath. Bloons Tower Defense has an entirely separate game for you to play PvP, and you can still play online in BTD6 if you want to play co-op. I just feel like there's no reason to not do it. Other than that, the graphics look good. I like the trailer. And I hope that we will get some more information about what the bonus levels and new content is. I want this to succeed. I want this to do well. I don't want this to just be a cheap nostalgia trip. I actually give a shit about this franchise. And I don't want to see it die on its ass. It'd be such a waste. It'd be such a waste. There you have it. There's the PvZ Replanted announcement. We've talked about it. Ruffled some feathers. Tea has been served. There's a fucking ton of potential here. Don't waste it.